Yo, what is going on, you guys? Today I'm going to be showing you how I become a top 600 player on MX Bikes in less than 200 hours. Just a quick disclaimer, everything I learned and am passing on in this video I learned from Doug and Matt from Simply Pin. Their links to the Twitch will be in the description below. First things first, I'm going to show you how to enable quick shift. This is what it looks like before and after enabling quick shift. What you're going to want to do is head over to your Steam library, find MX Bikes, click this little controller button, click edit layout, find your downshift key, hit the little cog, add extra command, gamepad, and whatever your clutch button is. To check that it's worked, head in game to your input tabs, hit your downshift key, and you should see the clutch indicator working. You're also going to want to go to your advanced clutch settings and make sure dead zone's on 0 and there's no smoothing. Go to your simulation tab and disable shift help. This will only work on KTM, Husqvarna and the Gas. For the next technique, what you're going to want to do is set your left analog stick to push bike in game. This allows you to push the bike hard up against the gate at the start of the race. Gives you a little bit of forward momentum as soon as the gate drops, which eliminates a little bit of wheel spin and allows you to get better starts. As you can see here by my controller overlay, my bike pushes hard up against the fence, and then when the gate drops, the bike will automatically start rolling out of the gate. For the next technique for getting better and more efficient at cornering, obviously what you're going to want to do is disable direct lean. Now for me this is one of the hardest settings to get used to riding without, but if you keep your left analog stick or your steering stick pushed forward at all times when you're riding, and you want to smoothly steer by rotating the analog stick across the top of the dead zone, if that makes sense. Disabling direct lean gives you a better lean angle on tracks that are rutted out or have hard corners. And by getting used to riding with your left analog stick pushed all the way forward, it allows you to become more smooth instead of just having it centered and trying to turn like that. For pro tracks or tracks that have a lot of braking bumps and bumps on corners, I recommend never letting the throttle off the bike. When you're riding and you're coming into braking bumps and you want to slow down, you let the throttle off, I feel like you lose a lot of control of the bike. What's helped me a lot when riding tracks like this or other pro tracks is just to downshift in the corners and keep like a half throttle. It sort of keeps the bike more stable when riding more rutted out trucks. Another technique for supercross and motocross as well, if you think you're going to case, don't stretch out. I had a bad habit of coming into rhythm sections and jumps and trying to stretch out like this and casing. When you stretch out like this, it lowers the bottom tire, as you can see from this replay, and results in you casing more often than not. I'm going to show you how to avoid this. What you're going to want to do to avoid this is sit and lean back. You can bring the front tire down with a bit of a brake tap as well, but I'll show you what it looks like. As you can see in the replay here, this makes a huge difference. It's extremely helpful from stepping off tabletops as well. See how the front end just dips down? Same with that section. This is a big tip for me that helped me a lot in Supercross moving forward. This tip helped me with Supercross whips a lot. What you're going to want to do is when you enter the whoops, sit and lean forward, and as soon as you hit the first whoop, stand and lean back. I'll show you what I mean. What this does is compresses your bike down into the first whoops, keeping it lower across the top of the whoops, overall carrying more speed. I won't get too much into changing gears and upshifting and whoops and all the rest of it, because I feel like every whoop section is different. You have to play around with them a little bit. For the next tip, get a controller that has paddles. You don't have to go crazy and buy a scuff controller. I'm pretty sure I bought this little connection thing off eBay for cheap as fuck. And all you got to do is plug it into the back of the controller and you've got yourself a fucking $100 off a scuff. Even if you just have two pedals on your down and up shift, it allows you to keep steering around corners and not have to sacrifice any fingers or other buttons for downshifting and upshifting while you're riding the bike. This next technique, especially for outdoors and motocross, you should be entering corners and ruts wider than you think you need to. I'll show you a few examples. tip sort of coincides with riding towards the edge of the track in motocross as well. A lot of motocross tracks smoothen off towards the edge of the track limits. Sets you up well for the corners and obviously helps you get smoother lap times in. This tip's pretty much common knowledge in MX bikes at the moment, but when you sit, it brings the bike up to your ass, and when you stand, it pushes the bike down to the ground. You can utilize this mechanic when you're going around corners that have jumps or are severely rutted out to sort of sit and stand quickly. It sort of pushes your bike into the ruts, gaining more traction. Obviously still approaching the corners is wider than we think we need to, just to help carry that momentum. That's going to be the end of the video. I just thought I'd pass on these tips that I felt helped me improve drastically in MX bikes. Some of you may know these things, some of you may not, so I'm just happy to help out anyone in between. Let me know if you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you check out Matt and Doug in the description below, and yeah.